Hello and welcome to our very first Zoom meeting for He Brought Me Out. I am so happy to be here, happy to have you here. Um, this is such a step of faith for me because it's just taking the audacity. That's the word that keeps coming to my mind. Taking the audacity to allow God to turn my pain into purpose, allowing God to turn the moments that I felt I wouldn't get through or wouldn't get over or get past, taking those moments that really caused me pain and creating a space for people to heal and to talk about what that healing journey has been like for them. To also be encouraged, be given tools that they can use, practical things that they can use to help them in their own healing journey. And so I won't be here too long, but I just wanted to thank you for joining us and just for being here with me. I want to give honor, most importantly, to my Lord, my Savior, Jesus Christ. Because of him, healing is possible. I have seen and I believe fervently that anything can be healed. We can be healed from anything because as long as Jesus took those stripes, as long as Jehovah's name is still Jehovah Rapha, the Lord heals, we can be healed, even from the deepest rooted um, wounds that we may have incurred over time and from people. But I wanted to. I was like, Lord, this is the first one. What are we gonna talk about? What are we gonna talk about, Lord? But I really wanted to talk to you guys about forgiveness, right? Because I thought about what was one thing that I did that helped me to heal, right? And the biggest thing that came to my mind, it was just at the forefront, was forgiveness, okay? Forgiving those who hurt me, those who betrayed me, those who said they were for me, but then were against me, just those who I trusted and, um, you know, found that couldn't trust, right? But that's life. That's a part of life. We're human. That's a part of being human. And so just being able to forgive those people, forgive myself for anything that I needed to forgive, that has been a huge game changer for me. And so I'll just share with you how God took me on this healing journey years ago. Um, I this was probably about maybe 2018. I had gone to my pastor at the time. He did many counseling sessions. So I booked the counseling session with him. And I had gone to him to talk to him about an issue I had about a person. And so I'm going on and on about this person, what they did to me and how I felt and da 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 da. And I'm here for support. Like, tell me this person is wrong. Tell me that I'm right and they're wrong. That I have the right to be angry and upset the way that I am. That's what I was wanting him to tell me. But he stopped me in the middle of my going on. And he said, I know that you came here to talk about this person, but I want to show you that you're harboring unforgiveness. And at that moment, I was like, unforgiveness? Unforgiveness? Like, at that point in my life, if you had ever asked me, did I hold grudges or anything like that, I would have told you no. Like, I don't hold grudges. That's just not my thing, because that's what I believed. That's what I thought. And so when he said that and brought it to my attention that I was holding a grudge, that I was harboring unforgiveness towards this person, that was like the wake up call God gave me to then take me on a journey to understanding how to forgive. Because after he said that, I said, okay, God, I went back to God. I was like, okay, God, well, how do I forgive? Like, how do I forgive when I still feel so emotionally affected by this? this situation or this person? Like, how do I forgive? And um, one of the things that he told me first, right, that the understanding that God has given me over the years is that forgiveness is a choice. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. He gave it to me real simple because the thing about God is that He will make it plain for you so that you can understand. He will make it plain. And so He made it plain for me. He said, forgiveness is a choice. You choose to forgive. The Bible tells us that if we forgive, God will forgive. But if we do not forgive, God will not forgive. And so that's when I realized this is a matter of life and death here. Like, this is this is serious, you know? And so I had to take it seriously. Was I willing to forgive the person that hurt me the most? Or would I rather remain upset with them and harbor those feelings, those harbor unforgiveness in my soul, you know, in my spirit? One thing about unforgiveness is that it's deteriorating. It's a lot of work to not forgive somebody. It causes the person who's holding it more pain than it does the other person because they gone about their life, minding their business. Meanwhile, going from unforgiveness to bitterness and resentment. And so I said, all right, God, my choice is to forgive. I choose to forgive. I choose to forgive this person. That is my choice. Now it's like, okay, God, I chose to forgive, but what about these emotions? What about everything that I'm feeling in my soul? Like, how do I deal with that? And what he taught me about that is this: forgiveness is a choice. Yes or no. Keep it simple. Yes, I will forgive. No, I will not forgive. Keep it simple, right? What happens after that, okay, is the healing process, okay? It's the healing process where what that person did or that event, what it caused, the pain, the trauma, the soul wound that was inflicted upon you, God now goes in and begins to take you through a healing process, okay? So forgiveness is a choice. And then what happens with the soul after that is called healing, okay? And so I have been on this healing journey for some years. And I know that I shared recently on Facebook that I was crying tears from 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Because when pain was inflicted upon me, when I was done wrong and trespassed against, instead of acknowledging that I was hurt, I stuffed it down. I slapped a smile on my face. I told myself I was okay. It was okay. Everything's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. You know, they got that shirt now. People be wearing. Uh, that's a cry for help. Because no, it is not fine. You're not fine, and everything is not okay. Everything is not fine. Everything is not awesome. Okay, everything is not awesome. But that doesn't mean that it can't be. Again, but having to go through the healing process. What does that look like, right? One of the ways that God helped me to heal is through vulnerability with Him, right? Being honest, open, and transparent. Honest, open, transparent with God. Simple. Honest, open, transparent. He helps me to stop lying, right? It's hard to like when you put it in those terms, right? Lying, yes. Lying, being dishonest, about how I really felt about something. Hey, can't help if you're lying. Can't help if you're delusional. We got to get past this delusional, okay? This disillusionment, and admit that, baby, I'm hurt. This hurt me, right? And many of us, right, we may not understand that because we've been in this like religious structure and culture where it's like it's a sin if you admit that something hurts you. It's a sin that if you're sad. It's a sin that, you know, you're feeling, some type of way about something. And that is not the way of the Lord. That is not the way of the Bible. The Bible teaches us, mhm, to cast our cares upon the Lord. How should we know that something is a care if we won't be honest and say, Lord, this is a concern for me. This is something that I care about. It matters to me, Lord. I need you to help me with this, right? And speaking of help, this is another way, right? Another way that God has shown me and showed up for me in that He is a helper, right? Because again, my initial question to God when He talked to me about forgiveness, I was like, but how do I forgive? Like, Lord, I don't even know how to forgive. I don't know how to forgive. I don't know because my level of understanding of forgiveness is that if you forgive, like, shouldn't I feel better? I mean, but I forgave, but I still don't feel better, so I must have not really forgave that person. No, forgiveness is a choice, is what He taught me. You choose. The Bible says, if you will forgive, that means you have a choice to forgive. If you will not forgive, you have a choice. You have a choice. Say, yes, Lord, I will forgive this person. And they are forgiven. And guess what? You can continue to be forgiven. And once you do that, God is helping you through the healing process. And everyone's process is different. Everyone's process is unique. Everyone's process is individualized to them, right? So part of my process was honesty. Girl, why you lying? You lying. You lying. You lying. You're not okay. Stop lying. This is literally God, right? That was the first thing He had to do with me, aside from forgiveness, was honesty. Being honest. I remember there was a friend that I had at the time. I mean, we were like brother and sister. I mean, it's a big deal. You fun back in the day. Do you understand eating out the same pot? It's like when you eat out the same pot with somebody, that ain't just like something you do with everybody, and it's not something that you take lightly. Like eating out the same pot with somebody is serious business. At least when I was growing up. And so me and this person ate out the same pot, meaning they were in such close proximity to me that they could eat out the same pot. They ate out of my pot, the pot that was in my home, meaning they were in my home. I trusted them enough to be in my home. I trusted them enough to cook, and we eat together, we break bread together. So anyway, that person took it upon themselves uh to begin spreading rumors and lies about me, which in turn caused people to view me differently, to cause me to lose opportunities, and close doors because of these lies, these rumors. Um, and they did this for self preservation. They did this so that they would look like the better person in the situation rather than just being accountable for what they did. Um, and just that, right? They threw me under the bus. They threw me under the bus. So anyways, I was so hurt by that in the moment when it happened, but I just swallowed it. I just swallowed it. I just swallowed it, and I swallowed it. I told myself I was okay, and I moved on. I moved on. It wasn't until about maybe 2 years later, I was at a concert, and the Holy Spirit met me in my seat in the stadium. Thousands of seats, and he met me at my seat somewhere at the top. I was somewhere at the top. He met me there, and he said, "Listen, daughter, hmm, hmm." I said, hmm, hmm. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, "So you just gonna act like you don't know what I'm talking about? You just gonna act like you don't know what I'm talking about?" Okay. And I said, you know what? Come to think of it, Lord, I do know what you're talking about. And Lord, if I'm being honest, God, this really hurt, right? And I was referring to that friend because he brought it up at that moment. Just minding my business. Just minding my business. Conference. He brought it up. I said, Lord, that really hurt me. That really hurt me that that person did that. And when I admitted it, when I was honest about how I felt and what I was feeling and experiencing, it's like the floodgates just opened. I began boo-hoo crying, like boo-hoo crying, crying hard, crying hard. But see, I needed that moment. 'Cause if you were anything like me, I hate crying. Hated. I'm getting better, but I hated crying, especially at that point in my life, because when I was a kid, whenever I got mad, I would cry when I got angry. And I'm like, this is the wrong response. Like, I look weak because I'm crying and I'm supposed to be mad. Like, anytime I would get really mad, I would just start crying. I'm just like, why do I do that? I used to be so sad. Um, and so I didn't like crying. I did not like it. And so I used to, and I got made fun of too for crying when I was mad. I got called weak. And so I was like, oh, no, I don't want to be weak. How can I stop this? And so yeah, I stopped crying for a long time. It had to be something really bad for me to like cry. I had to be like in despair for me to cry. Um, but yeah, this moment I boohoo cried. I boohoo cried. And it was through those years that God, He taught me the importance of crying. It's because crying is a release. Crying is a way to relieve the pressure, the emotional pressure that's inside. And for many of us who, just be holding stuff in and holding stuff in until we explode, you just need to cry. Just cry. Because if you cry, that pencil, them tears, it'll relieve it. It'll release the pressure. Just cry it out. You're not weak. You're not weak because you're crying. You're not. Trust me, I understand. And so, yeah, God taught me these things. And so, hence, here we are, 2025. I was having a moment. I was having a moment with the Lord, and He brought me through that moment, right? Because sometimes, baby, it be moment by moment. Sometimes it's moment by moment, He's bringing me out. And so I was having a moment, and He brought me out of that moment. And that's when it, this group was birthed. This, this space was created, right? That's when it happened. When He brought me out of that moment, I was on the other side. That's when it was birthed. And I said, Lord, are you really about to turn my pain into purpose? Are we really about to do this? And we are. And we are here. And so I'm going to go ahead and leave you all with that. Thank you all so much again for joining me on the fly. It has been a pleasure to be able to share. I would love, love, love to hear more from you guys. And I want these lives, what I want them to be is, and what I see them as being, right, is a space where I'm not the one doing all the talking, right? I don't want to do all the talking. And I'm not meant to do all of the talking, right? This is a community that we're going to create together, okay? And so if that bless you, let me know in the comments, in the chat. Drop your favorite emoji because this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. I'm so grateful and excited to hear the testimonies that you will share of how God brought you out. I'm telling you, especially for them trials where you feel like, Lord, where is the way out? I can't see it. Where is the way out? And then you see him bring you out of that. Oh, those impossible looking situations. I had to put that looking because it looks impossible, but it's not. It's not. As long as you have God with you, nothing is impossible. Nothing shall be impossible to you. All right. So God bless you. I hope that you have an amazing week and bye.